Are you worried about all the concern with the inconsistencies in the run defense as far as some of those things when you back and look at film?
I'm not as much concerned as you don't like it. You hate that it happens, and you understand why. You understand what took place, and there are mental issues that, as a coaching cliche is, they're always correct. It's easily correctable. You just hate that it happened. So some of that is my fault, and some of that we just got to be a little bit more consistent mentally and handle things. So it's just gap integrity. You're not in the A gap, that's where they're going to run it. You're not in the D gap, that's where they're going to run it, and they're going to find you. So it's that bothers you a lot as a coach. So I take little gratification on all the other positive things, and that you can get beat by really good people in a tighter game, and our guys recognize that. They've been good about immediately owning it, and a few of the different runs are just, whether it's somebody different or it was a different call that we just didn't execute very well. So anyway, we executed those same calls for most of the night, but that back and the line, and they're good enough to exploit you when you make some mistakes.
Can you just talk about the challenge of trying to contain a rushing attack? They obviously have the nation's leading rusher.
Yeah, it's a big challenge. Everything starts in a run game, and when people are able to establish it with consistency, you have issues on defense. So they got a big physical presence with both the O-line and the back, and they got a nice play-action game. They've got a veteran group on offense. I think give or take 9 starters back. So they're able to do a lot of things out of multiple personnel groups, out of multiple formations, and again, they're doing it with a good, strong physical presence. So it'll be very challenging for our entire defense.
How much stock do you put into being able to hold Williams down last year?
Very little. Every game, every year is different. So it's a different staff, different schemes, and he's playing with a great deal of confidence, and they're playing with great continuity up front. So it's a lot different.
What do you remember about Amadon, your receiver from last year? Someone he had a lot of success in this.
Yeah, that's what I remember. Same things I remember last week when they gouged us in the run game. I remember with him in the passing game a year ago. So got us on the double move, a couple different, and then the long play action pass, and he kind of had it his way with us last year. He's a good player, finds a way to get open, understands windows, and the quarterback does a good job of getting him the ball. So great competitor, and he's got great quickness and good speed, and he's a good player.
Even though they're still doing a lot of power stuff,
Mm-hmm.
are they spicing in any of the stuff, I guess, that Adazio?
Oh yeah, they you like the spread game, or
Yeah.
oh yeah, they're still spread as well, and finding ways to attack you in the run game. And so whether they put a bunch of people in a small area and run the football and pound you between the tackles, or they're more than capable, which they've done. Some of the similarities what you saw last week, how they spread us out and ran the football as well, both inside and outside out of the spread game. So very multiple in, again, how they attack you in the run game. Not as much of the quarterback run game that he's been known for, both Temple and Florida, but you don't need to do that when you got the kind of back and the line that they have.
The second day of fall camp, we asked you about Jaron Curse, and
Mm-hmm.
you used the word long
Mm-hmm.
4 times.
Mm-hmm.
When you think back to the very beginning of August, did you expect that he would be the type of presence that he's been pretty reliable as a third safety?
Yeah, I mean, we were certainly hopeful. Probably assumed he'd be even further ahead. But it's a tough position to learn. He's done a good job, and seen him make incremental improvements here the last couple 3 weeks. And the more he plays, like most young guys, the better he'll get. So the expectations were there. That maturation takes for different guys, it's different timetables. So, but he's done pretty well. He's done pretty well.
If Travis is not able to go Saturday, what do you tell a freshman when it's not just he's going to be in there for some plays, now he's the guy?
Yeah, you just kind of tell them what you tell all those guys. The discipline that it takes. As much as you don't have to do everything. Just do your job, and we don't need you to make every play. Just the ones that you're supposed to make, and have good eyes and understand adjustments and communicate and listen to guys around you that are trying to help you too. That's the biggest thing.
You had many 6'4" safeties, Igor?
No, none.
Could it be a disadvantage in any way, or is it all good?
I don't know. He has a chance to be a really good player in time, and I don't know of the disadvantages outside of, he's a young player that needs to continue to add strength and bulk and all those kinds of things, but he's not afraid, and he's not timid from a contact standpoint. He likes it, and he's got good instincts and, again, good range. So, again, his best football is certainly ahead of him.
I believe 14 points or less, your defense has held opponents in the last 4 games. That's the first time it's happened here since 2000. What are you guys doing well? What do you feel is the biggest reason for that success?
Just not letting people move the ball with consistency. Like everybody, we've given up drives and wish you could get back plays. But I think we've been pretty consistent and doing the ordinary things pretty well, and just playing again with overall better discipline. And our guys are playing with incredible effort. So when some of the mistakes are made, they've got a great focus and a great attitude, good toughness about them, that they respond when their backs are against the wall. So, even when we've let people on our side of the 50, we've either knocked them back or have held them on 4th down, or not very many 4th downs, but enough, and or forced turnover. So there's a combination of a lot of things, but I just think that we've shown consistently that it's hard to, when we make people work, down the field. And that's probably like most offenses, if they have to work for it in an 8, 9, 10 play drive. We haven't given up many of those. So I think that's been real critical for us. And again, being good in run defense when we have to be. And again, consistently. Even the other night, the numbers, whatever they were, you certainly don't like them. But they weren't. If they're gaining 5 and 6 and 7 yards every time they snap the ball, and they accumulate that, with 40-plus carries, it's very concerning when you give up the chunk plays and you look at, again, the lack of consistency, or the tackles for loss, or, I don't know, I think we forced them to punt 9 times, and we had 9 3-and-outs. So I think, we really denied them the opportunity to get anything going from a rhythm standpoint overall.
Maybe to take the ball away, is that just as simple as guys being better at locating the ball? What's been the biggest difference?
Just confidence, positioning, technique, trust, discipline, Putting your eyes, again, a year ago we stared in the backfield a lot. Whether you're in zone or man, it's hard to be in good position when you're staring at the wrong things. You're looking at the wrong things. And there's sometimes in zone that you want to, see what the quarterback's intentions are. But, guys just playing with more confidence, trust, technique, eye control, all those things combined.
Those things are difficult to correct in a short amount of time.
I would, maybe with a veteran player, no. With an inexperienced player, yes. And then everybody's a little bit different, So, for example, Ben Boulware picks the ball 2 weeks ago, and he put his eyes in relatively the right place to put himself in that position, as opposed to a game before where he's not doing a very good job in some of his zone techniques and just out of position. He was pretty close to being where he's supposed to be, and sometimes, as that showed, that's good enough. And so some young guys just, it just takes them longer. Or again, experienced guys or guys that just lack focus and discipline. That's usually the guy that's on all the list, and he's skipping tutors and sleeping in and late to meetings, and then he doesn't stay inside of number one when he's supposed to have inside leverage, or he doesn't stay in the post when he's supposed to be in the post. And we had a lot of that, those issues a year ago. And then on defense, it's hard for us to be consistent, when you do 2 plays right and 1 play wrong. So
What role does Coach Reed play, his perspective on things?
there are a lot of things, how his fundamentals that he teaches and reps every day, because, we're creatures of habit, good or bad, and, if you're doing things that are functional for you as a player in your fundamentals, they're going to help you as a player, again, because we're creatures of habit, and also your defense is trained reaction. So putting all the right things in front of those guys on a consistent daily basis, and he's got a good way of teaching them. I might be screaming and hollering, and he might be that calming effect, or I just think again you're not going to get one over on him. I think he's a very much a tool for those young guys, and I think they realize that. And so whether that's composure or it's correcting a technique, or instilling a certain level of toughness and creating this level of standard that those guys need to live up to. It's a lot of those things that those guys have grasped, but they have a better functional intelligence about what we're doing and why and when and what you can do and what you can't do and the stresses of it and all those types of things. So he's had a huge impact. Then those guys also have to take ownership and maturing and investing time and working on their weaknesses, and I think that they've done that through the out of season, and it's shown now, because that just doesn't happen when you start practicing again. It's a long-term investment.
Has Marion, when he worked with Vic, how's his tutelage with Vic helped him so much, especially some of the moves Vic's added this year that he didn't have last year?
Yeah, I think you'd be naive to believe that, Vic's out there doing it all. And you got good players. You got to coach them, A lot of people have good players, but you have to coach them, and you have to teach them, and you have to reach them, as well, and motivate them and challenge them, inspire them, give them to practice at a high level. And Marion does a fabulous job with that group of guys and dealing with them individually. They're all a little bit different, like most position groups. And how you talk to them, how you teach them, how you, again, challenge them is a little bit different. He's done a great job both with that and the fundamentals and the technique of the game. The ifs, the ands, the buts, and when you can and when you can't, those kinds of things.
Are you at all surprised at the way Vic has just come out and this first half of the season dominated the way he has?
I don't know. No, not really. I'm not surprised. Pleased. He's got, again, a unique skill set, and is playing with good effort and staying humble and practicing hard. So he's playing, with discipline that helps other things execute as well, and it helps himself.
You said unique skill set. Can you kind of go into what that is?
Sudden, explosive, and good anticipation, good awareness about the game, what happened the last down, what happened the last third down. Probably better at studying tape, understanding his opponent, guys lining up against, and what works, what doesn't, where he's strong, where he's weak, those kind of things.
That's where he's differed from last year.
Yeah, which you hope that as guys stay in a program, that's what happens. Continue to improve. So that's happened.
I think Coach Sway called Green Jarrett the heart and soul of the defense this morning.
Mm-hmm.
What's been the key to him kind of developing, being a solid guy to maybe a guy that's really getting on the national radar this year?
I just think he loves to play, and he's relentless how he practices, and it shows up. He's very focused. He's very driven. He's very humble. So there's not a day that he wakes up, I bet you, that he believes that he's arrived. And I think he's a fighter with a chip on his shoulder. And I think he takes ownership in his responsibilities and really thrives in that role. Got great respect, with his teammates. So,
Thank you, Kevin.
all right, gang, you got it. Yep.
Yeah, we're gonna do Vic tomorrow after practice, because he has just classes, or it wouldn't be